Welcome back to the Greatest Storyteller podcast. I'm your narrator, Omari. Today's story is titled Happy Kwanzaa. So it's the holiday season, which is one of my favorite times of the year. I don't know, there's just something about the local festivities, decorated homes, holiday music everywhere you go, pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg, all sprinkled in almost every dessert and drink you can think of that really puts me in a good mood. Oh, and don't get me started on all of the delicious treats and spirits at work that come from clients and vendors and everyone in between, right? It's all about giving and love and happiness. Now, of course, there's also the faith based part of the holidays, or at least for some. Everybody doesn't celebrate the holiday season for faith based, religious, or any other belief reason, right? But what's the harm in assuming that someone may be of the Jewish ethnic race that they celebrate Hanukkah, right? Because they're Jewish. Or assuming that, I don't know, an African American celebrates Kwanzaa. I don't know what's the harm in assuming these things, right? But for Joan, yeah, Joan definitely didn't see any issue with the assumptions she made. So at the finance company that I work for, we have the building decked out in holiday everything, right? So in the receptionist area, there's this huge Christmas tree, and it's a real one too, where you could smell the pine as you're walking by. And it's decorated with beautiful ornaments and lights. Of course, there's the bright star at the top of the tree. And then on the side of the receptionist desk, there's this really well crafted menorah, really, really nice. And then, of course, there's all sorts of decorations through the office floor that just scream holiday season, right? And then when you're walking down the halls, folks are either saying Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And then you could smell the freshly baked holiday cookies that are made by our on site chef who's pushing out these desserts on a weekly basis. Oh, it smells so amazing. And then, of course, you have those who bring in homemade brownies and cakes, candy like peppermint bark, just to share with the office, right? Now, I don't eat that homemade shit because everybody not clean. Like, for example, there's this one lady in accounting who never, ever washes her hands after using the restroom. But her ass loves to bring in cupcakes with holiday sprinkles on top. Girl, don't nobody want your pissy cupcakes. Your nasty ass. Anyway, I digress. So, lots of giving for a joyous time of the year, right? So, leading up to Christmas Day, the office is pretty dead. Most folks are either on vacation the week of Christmas or they're working remote. Nah, but not me. I'm in the office on Christmas Eve working away. And being in the office for me means I can fully concentrate. I'm finalizing all my expenses. I'm closing out the books for my department before the end of the year. All of the things, right? And I don't know, maybe I'm just old school about it, but it works for me. So I'm typing away on my computer and Joan swings by. Now, Joan, Joan, she's an interesting bird. Okay, Joan is an older woman from Biloxi, Mississippi, and Joan loves sharing stories about her childhood, farming, hunting, and just random country shit that honestly no one really cares about, but folks listen to it because yeah, Joan is old, right? And Joan is very colorful in her language, like sometimes to the point where low key, I think she'd be saying some racist stuff, but people just move on because Joan is what? Old. Anyway, Joan says, "Hi, Omari. Didn't expect to see you in the office this week. Are you working hard or hardly working?" So I say to her, I'm working hard. I actually have a couple of things I have to wrap up before the end of the year. So getting things done. Joan replies, "Well, it's good to hear you're working hard. I know some people like you young folks. Work is very, very foreign to you. But to see you slaving away brings me joy." Y'all see that? That whole slaving piece. I I know what you meant by that. I know what she meant by that shit. But I'm I'm gonna ignore it. Why? Because Joan is old. So I say to that crocodile bitch, yeah, nothing better than a good old workhorse. And Joan smiles and nods her head, and she tells me she'll see me around. She walks away, and I get back to working. So it's later in the day, and I'm in the break room warming up my lunch, which honestly is really dinner, just given the time of the day. And here comes Joan, who moseys on in. And I intently stare at the microwave so that I don't make contact with this woman because I really don't want to talk to her. I just want to heat up my food, go back to my office undisturbed to finish out my day, and that be that. But you see, that's just too easy. Joan, in all her Southern glory, Joan, she has to speak because, it's the proper thing to do when you enter a room. So Joan says, "Oh, Mari, what's on the menu for lunch today?" Um, I, I brought in some food I made in preparation for the holidays, Joan. And she replies back to me. She says, "Oh, how nice. I bet you know how to make all the fixins. You look like you're skilled in that way. Let me guess. You have some greens with ham hocks and fat mac in it. Some black eyed peas and mac and cheese. Let me see, some sweet casserole with a juicy piece of ham seasoned with Larry's seasoned salt. Did I guess right?" No, 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 you didn't. I actually have sliced chicken breast with Brussels sprouts, and a nice pillowy mashed potato. I'm actually on a diet. Joan OC now asks, says, "I was close." Well, you enjoy your meal. Oh, and before I forget, happy Kwanzaa to you. Now, a couple of things here. One, why did Joan wish me a happy Kwanzaa? I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with the holiday, but I don't celebrate Kwanzaa. Joan has never seen me bring in anything that is symbolic of the Kwanzaa holiday. I've never said directly or ever implied that I celebrate Kwanzaa. So why did she say that? Two, it's not even Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa starts after the Christmas holiday. And finally, how the hell does Joe know about Kwanzaa? I mean, listen, I don't know a whole lot of things, but I know damn well Joan is not studying the origins of Kwanzaa. Not for anything. to wish people, more specifically Black people, any good on that holiday. I'm telling you, that woman is messy. Oh, and she gets messier. So it's 5:30 in the evening, and Joan is on her way out. But Joan stops by my office and she says to me, "Oh, Mari, I'm on my way out. Now, don't you stay too late. Oh, and before I go, I want to drop off a nice gift for you. It's really special." So she smiles as she hands me over the gift. And then she says to me, "I hope you really like it. Now, I know you may be excited to see the gift." I wasn't. "But you have to wait until it's Christmas. See you after the holidays." So Joan leaves, and I wait until I can't hear her feet pattering through the hallway because I was curious. I want to know what's in the box. And once it was quiet, child, I opened that gift. So on top of the box that was actually really neatly wrapped, it was a Christmas card. And I got to be honest, I was a little hesitant to read the damn thing, but I'm thinking to myself, surely Joan can't be offensive in her writing, can she? So I opened the card and I read it, and I could hear her in her voice. "Oh, Mari, may this good Christian holiday bring you joy and the love of Jesus Christ," with Jesus's name written in all caps. So I toss the card to the side and I immediately start ripping the paper off the box. And I kid you not, I'm not making this up. Inside the gift box was a mammy like doll with an opaque complexion and a small Bible on top of her. Yeah. In that moment, I wanted to run after her and throw that doll at the back of that old bitch's head. And I didn't care what would happen. Like, why? What the fuck? Why? But I kept my cool. I didn't do anything. Why? Because Joan is old. What's the moral of the story? Yeah, don't give people a pass just because of their age. Joan got away with a lot of stuff because people chalked up her bad behavior to being old and senile. But in reality, to me, the woman was racist. People were blinded by her soft voice and sweet smile, but she's an evil bitch. I mean, the woman thought I seasoned my food with Lowry seasoned salt, for goodness sake. And I do, but why did she have to say it? And don't get me started on that damn doll. Jones should have been called down to HR a long, long time ago. But to be quite honest, they probably would have given her the same pass too. Why? Why, you may ask? Because Joan is old. The end. Thanks for listening. Share your thoughts on this story. Also, be sure to check out some of my other great stories on the Greatest Storyteller podcast.